Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Gepp with the Front Row Movie Reviews, and this is your weekly box office report with stats from our friends over at boxofficemojo.com. You gotta say, even despite a very big number, that it was a disappointing weekend at the top of the box office as WB's Justice League took the top spot with only $93 million opening weekend. Now look, that is a big number, but this movie was tracking at the very least around the 120 range, and it came in almost a full $30 million less than Thor Ragnarok, the third in the Thor film franchise. Now look, this thing did make $185 million overseas. That means its US and global total so far is at $278 million, but this is a very, very disappointing result for WB. This might spell some big trouble for the DC Cinematic Universe moving forward. Coming in number 2 this week was another newcomer and a very big pleasant surprise, which is the movie Wonder. This is based on a true story starring Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson, and Jacob Tremblay, and it brought in $27.5 million in its opening weekend. And look, this thing is going for some awards buzz late in the year, but not a lot of marketing, but it's clear that the audiences clearly wanted to see this picture, and who knows, this thing might continue to grow on this astounding opening weekend number. Coming in number 3 this week is another comic book movie, Thor Ragnarok. In its third week of release, it brought in another $21 million to bring its US total up to $247 million and its global total up to $745 million. Now look, this thing keeps losing a little bit of steam, so I don't think it quite has enough to get to that $1 billion threshold, but man, this thing has a really good shot at getting over $275 million at the US box office alone. That is a huge win for Marvel. Coming in number 4 this week is the comedy sequel Daddy's Home 2. It brought in another $14 million this week to bring its US total up to $50 million. And as comedy sequels go, that is a pretty good total, even with the big name power of Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. And rounding out the top 5 this week is Murder on the Orient Express. This brought in $13 million in its next weekend of release, and that brings its US total up to $51 million. It is almost back to its production budget of $55 million. We look for it to pass that in the next couple of weeks to get this to a profitable movie status. I'm Jeremy Geckner. Head on over to the frontrowmoviereviews.com where you can find all the rest of our videos, our quick minute reviews, our movies turning 25, and of course all of the podcasts. This week we are so psyched to be bringing you a couple of great episodes. First off with our Thanksgiving special on the ultimate Thanksgiving movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles from our flashback crew. And then on Friday, Are You Afraid of the Podcast is returning with a season 1 recap of the show. And then of course on Friday you can find the latest episode of Zonasodes. I'm Jeremy Geckner, and as always we will see you in the front row.